You asked a question that stumped your Sunday school teacher when you were 12 years old. Who created God? She fumbled for an answer, said something about faith, and told you to stop asking difficult questions. But the question never left you. Because if everything needs a creator, then God needs a creator too, right? And if God doesn't need a creator, then why does the universe need one? This is the logic trap that keeps millions of people from believing in God. It's called the infinite regress problem, and honestly, it's one of the smartest objections to Christianity that exists. I'm not going to gaslight you and pretend this is an easy question. It's not. But what if I told you the question itself contains a hidden assumption that breaks the entire argument? What if the reason your Sunday school teacher couldn't answer wasn't because the question is unanswerable, but because she was trying to fit God into a category he doesn't belong in? In the next 12 minutes, we're going to solve the infinite regress problem using a framework that most Christians have never even heard of. We're going to look at the difference between contingent beings and necessary beings. We're going to explore why causation only applies within time and space, not outside of it. And we're going to end with the most important question. If God doesn't need a creator, what does that reveal about who he actually is? Now, before I go any further, I need to steelman this objection, because if I don't take your skepticism seriously, this entire video is worthless. Here's the atheist's best argument, presented at full strength. Everything that exists has a cause. The chair you're sitting on was caused by a carpenter. The carpenter was caused by his parents. His parents were caused by their parents. If you trace causation backwards far enough, you get to the universe itself. The universe was caused by the Big Bang. But then the question becomes, what caused the Big Bang? Christians say God caused it, but then the obvious follow-up question is, what caused God? If you say God doesn't need a cause, you're making a special exception for God without justification. But if the universe doesn't need a cause, then why do we need God at all? This is the heart of the objection, and it's powerful because it seems to corner believers into one of two bad options. Option 1, accept infinite regress, which means there's an infinite chain of creators with no beginning, which is logically absurd. Option 2, claim God is the uncaused cause, which seems like special pleading. I understand why people walk away from faith over this. If Christianity can't answer this question logically, why should anyone take it seriously? But here's where the steelman ends and the correction begins. If you appreciate content that wrestles with hard questions instead of giving you easy answers, please consider subscribing. We're building a community that takes skepticism seriously and doesn't run from logic. The problem with the question, who created God, is that it assumes God is the same category of thing as the universe. But God isn't a thing. God is the ground of all being. Let me explain what I mean, using a framework from philosophy that changes everything. In philosophy, there are two categories of existence: contingent beings and necessary beings. A contingent being is something that exists but didn't have to exist. You are a contingent being. You exist right now, but you didn't exist 100 years ago, and you won't exist 100 years from now. Your existence is contingent on other things. Your parents, oxygen, food, water, the laws of physics, the universe itself is a contingent being. It exists, but it didn't have to exist. Scientists tell us the universe began 13.8 billion years ago at the Big Bang. That means the universe had a beginning. And anything that begins to exist must have a cause outside of itself. But here's the key. A necessary being is something that exists and must exist. It cannot not exist. A necessary being doesn't depend on anything else for its existence. It is self-existent, eternal, and The question is, does a necessary being exist? Or is the universe just an infinite chain of contingent beings causing each other? This is where the atheist runs into a logical problem they can't escape. If everything is contingent, you get infinite regress. But infinite regress is impossible because you can never reach the present moment. Think about it like this. Imagine I told you I can't give you $1 until someone gives me $1 first. And the person who's supposed to give me $1 can't give it to me until someone gives them $1 first. And that person can't give them $1 until someone gives them $1 first. If this chain goes on forever, you will never get your dollar because there's no first giver. The same logic applies to existence. If every being is caused by another being, and that chain goes back infinitely, existence itself never gets started. So infinite regress doesn't solve the problem. It just pushes the problem back forever without answering it. That means there must be a first cause, a necessary being that doesn't need a cause because it exists by its own nature. Now, here's where the atheist says, okay, fine, but why can't the universe be that necessary being? Why do we need God? Why can't we just say the universe is eternal and uncaused? This is the objection that needs to be addressed carefully, because it's not stupid. It's actually pretty clever, but it runs into two major problems that most people don't think about. Problem 1, the universe is not eternal. We know this from cosmology. The Big Bang Theory, which is accepted by virtually every scientist, tells us the universe had a beginning. Before the Big Bang, there was no space, no time, no matter, no energy. There was nothing. So the universe can't be the necessary being because it began to exist. And anything that begins to exist must have a cause. But here's where it gets interesting. The atheist says, okay, what caused God to begin? And the Christian says, God didn't begin. God is eternal. And the atheist says, that's special pleading. Why can't I just say the universe is eternal? Here's the answer. God can be eternal because God exists outside of time. The universe can't be eternal because the universe is inside time. Time itself is part of the universe. Let me explain this carefully because it's the key to the whole argument. When we say God is eternal, we don't mean God is really, really old. We mean God exists outside the flow of time altogether. God doesn't experience past, present, and future the way we do. God exists in what theologians call the eternal now. Think of time like a timeline. You and I are stuck at one point on the timeline, moving forward second by second. But God is above the timeline, seeing all of it at once. He doesn't move through time. He created time. This is why causation doesn't apply to God. Causation is a time-based concept. To say A causes B means A happens before B in time. But God doesn't exist in time, so the concept of before doesn't apply to him. Asking who created God is like asking what's north of the North Pole. The question itself is incoherent because it misunderstands the category. Now I know what you're thinking. This sounds like a cop-out. It sounds like I'm just redefining God to avoid the problem, but I'm not. I'm clarifying what Christians have always meant by God. When the Bible says God is the Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, it's not saying God is the first thing in a timeline. It's saying God is the source of the timeline itself. He is outside of it, sustaining it, holding it in existence. If you want a deeper breakdown of how this works philosophically, drop a comment below and let me know. I'm thinking about making a follow-up video on the nature of time and eternity. But here's where the atheist makes one final objection, and it's the strongest one yet. They say, okay, fine. God exists outside time. God is eternal. God is the necessary being. But that doesn't prove the Christian God. That just proves some kind of first cause. How do you get from a necessary being to the God of the Bible? How do you get from philosophy to Jesus? And you know what? They're right. This argument alone doesn't prove Christianity, but it does prove that atheism has a fatal flaw. Because if you deny the existence of a necessary being, you're stuck with infinite regress, or a universe that popped into existence from nothing with no cause. Both of those options are logically incoherent. So the atheist has to either accept a necessary being or give up logic altogether. Now, once you accept that a necessary being exists, the next question is, what is that being like? And this is where we move from philosophy to theology. This is where the Bible steps in. The Bible reveals that the necessary being isn't just a force or an idea, it's a person. A person who thinks, who loves, who acts, who creates, who judges, who forgives. The Bible calls this person Yahweh, the great I Am, the self-existent one. When Moses asked God for his name in Exodus chapter 3, God said, I am who I am. That's not just a name, it's a statement of existence. God is saying, I exist by my own nature. I don't derive my existence from anything else. And here's what blows my mind. The Bible revealed this concept of God as the self-existent necessary being thousands of years before. Philosophers like Aquinas and Leibniz formalized the argument. This isn't Christians retrofitting philosophy onto the Bible. This is the Bible teaching philosophy before philosophy even existed. But I want to be honest with you about something. Even with all of this logic, there's still mystery. I don't fully understand how God exists outside of time. I don't fully understand what it means to be eternal. I can grasp it conceptually, but I can't experience it the way God does, because I'm a finite being trapped in time, and that's okay. Mystery doesn't mean contradiction. Mystery means there are truths that are beyond my full comprehension. But just because I can't fully understand something doesn't mean it's not true. I don't fully understand quantum mechanics, but I trust my phone works. I don't fully understand how consciousness emerges from neurons, but I know I'm conscious. Some truths are bigger than my brain, and God is one of them. So if you're sitting there thinking, I still don't get it, that's okay. You're not supposed to fully get it. God is infinite. You're finite. But what you can get is this. The question who created God is based on a category mistake. God isn't a created thing. God is the uncreated creator, the necessary being, the ground of all existence. And once you understand that, the question dissolves. It's not that it's unanswerable, it's that it's the wrong question. The right question is, if God is the necessary being, what does that mean for how I should live? Because if God is the source of all existence, then I exist because He wills it. If God is the ground of all being, then my life has meaning because it's grounded in Him. And if God is eternal, then the choices I make in this temporary life have eternal consequences. Now, here's the part that connects this to the gospel. This isn't just philosophy, this is personal. The same God who exists as the necessary being chose to enter into His creation. God the Son, who exists eternally with the Father, became human in Jesus Christ. He didn't stop being God, He added humanity to His divinity. And He did this so that finite, broken, sinful people like you and me could know the infinite, eternal, holy God. The cross isn't just a historical event, it's the intersection of eternity and time. God stepped into time to rescue people who are trapped in time. If you're tired of philosophical arguments and you want to know God personally, the invitation is simple. Stop trying to fit God into a box your mind can comprehend. Start trusting the God who revealed Himself in Jesus. Read the Gospel of John. See how Jesus treated doubters. See how He invited skeptics to come and see. And if you're still wrestling with this question, that's okay. Wrestling is good. God isn't afraid of your questions. But don't let the question become an excuse to avoid the answer. If you enjoyed this breakdown and you want more content that tackles the hardest objections to Christianity, make sure you're subscribed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.